The village of Oquenya had always trusted the rhythm of life. The rooster crowed at dawn, the women sang at the market, the elders' drums marked festivals and funerals alike. But ever since the sacred drum had spoken in the dead of night, an unease hung over the land like a shadow refusing to lift. The air itself felt restless, as if holding its breath for something it could not yet reveal. Kweku, the boy who had heard the whisper, woke each morning with the echo of the drum still vibrating in his bones. He remembered the message clearly, though no one else had heard it. The river will run dry in 7 days. Those words haunted him. He tried to go about his chores, sweeping the palace courtyard, carrying calabashes of water for the elders, but his mind was elsewhere. Every glance toward the sacred drum sent a shiver through him. Its carved patterns seemed sharper than before, its skin darker, as though it absorbed more of the night than it reflected. That morning, he confided in Amma, his only friend, while they sat by the small stream where women washed clothes. Amma was older than Kweku by a year, with bright, watchful eyes that missed nothing. She listened quietly as he spoke, her hands busy wringing cloth. "Amma," Kweku whispered, "the drum spoke to me again last night. Not with beats, with words." Her hands froze in the water. She turned to him sharply. "Words? Kweku, don't say such things aloud. If anyone hears you, they will say you're cursed." He leaned closer, lowering his tone. "It said the river will run dry in 7 days. Look at the stream, don't you feel it? The water is weaker than before." Amma frowned, dipping her hand into the current. Indeed, the flow was not as strong as usual, but she shook her head. "Rivers rise and fall, Kweku. This is not the first time. Please, you must let this go. The elders forbid us from meddling with the drum's matters." But Kweku's eyes burned with determination. "If we ignore the warning, what if it comes true? What if the spirits are trying to save us, and no one listens?" Amma looked at him long, her face softening. She admired his courage, but she also feared it would be his undoing. That evening, unable to keep his silence, Kweku approached the elders during their meeting beneath the great irako tree. Torches flickered in the night breeze, casting long shadows on the packed earth. Elder Kojo, bent with age but sharp of mind, leaned on his staff, while beside him sat Chief Otto, proud and heavy-voiced, his eyes always suspicious of youth. Kweku knelt respectfully, as was custom. "Great elders," he began, "I have heard the drum speak. It warned of danger. It said the river will run dry." Murmurs rippled through the circle. Elder Kojo's brows knitted in concern, but Chief Otto barked a laugh. "A child dares to speak of the drum? You overstep, boy. Do you think the spirits whisper to children instead of their chosen guardians?" Kweku lowered his head but did not retreat. "I only speak the truth. Please, test the river yourselves, the water weakens each day." Another elder muttered, dangerous words. "The boy meddles in sacred matters." Elder Kojo raised a hand, silencing them. His eyes lingered on Kweku, searching, questioning. For a moment, Kweku thought he saw belief flicker there. But Chief Otto leaned forward, his voice heavy as thunder. "Go back to your chores, child, before your tongue leads you into trouble." Humiliated, Kweku bowed and backed away. The elders returned to their talk, dismissing him as though he were nothing more than a leaf blown by the wind. Yet as Kweku left, he caught Kojo's gaze once more, not of dismissal, but of warning. The days that followed seemed to prove Kweku right. The river did not roar with its usual strength. The women grumbled as their pots filled more slowly. Fishermen muttered that the catch was poor, the water too shallow for the larger fish to swim. Even the animals seemed unsettled. Goats bleated restlessly at night, dogs barked at shadows, and birds circled low as though restless in their own feathers. Amma began to worry, though she tried not to show it. She found Kweku one evening scratching marks into the dirt with a stick, bent over like a scholar. "What are you doing?" she asked. "Writing down the drum's beats," Kweku said without looking up. "Each rhythm is not just noise. It is a pattern. And these patterns look like symbols. My mother once told me the drum was carved from the tree of truth and that it remembers the language of the ancestors. Maybe this is that language." Amma knelt beside him, staring at the strange shapes he drew. She felt a chill, though she could not explain why. "You are chasing danger," she whispered. "If the elders see this, they will think you are mocking the sacred. Promise me, Kweku, you will stop." But he only shook his head. "If the river truly dries, what will become of us? Our crops, our animals, our very lives? Someone must listen to the drum." Word of Kweku's strange obsession spread quickly. Some villagers called him gifted, a boy touched by spirits. Others spat when he passed, calling him cursed. Children whispered and imitated drum beats when he walked by. The weight of their suspicion pressed heavy on him, but his resolve only grew stronger. It was then that he found an ally in an unexpected place: Abony, the young herbalist who gathered leaves and roots by the forest edge. She had heard of Kweku's claims and approached him one evening as he sat by the river, sketching symbols on a flat stone. Her voice was soft, yet firm. "You believe the drum carries a message? Show me." Kweku hesitated. He had grown used to scorn, but there was no judgment in her eyes. Slowly, he laid out the patterns, explaining how each beat rose and fell like the strokes of an unseen pen. Abony listened intently, then nodded. "These are not random. I have seen such marks before, carved into old stones near the forest shrine. They are from the old language, the one only the priests once knew." Kweku's heart quickened. At last, someone believed him. Together, they compared his markings to the symbols she recalled, piecing together fragments like shards of a broken pot. And slowly, the message grew clearer. The river will run dry in 7 days. But when Kweku brought this knowledge again to the elders, they rejected him with even greater force. "Blasphemy," cried one. "A boy and a girl dare to interpret what belongs to the spirits. This is not wisdom, it is foolishness." Chief Otto rose to his feet, eyes blazing. "You are sowing fear among the people, boy. Fear dries rivers faster than the sun. You speak lies for attention, and I will not allow it. If another word leaves your mouth about this drum, you will answer to me." The villagers murmured, some nodding in agreement, others shifting uneasily. But the more they dismissed him, the more Kweku felt the truth pressing down on his chest, demanding to be spoken. The 6th night arrived heavy with clouds. The air was thick, suffocating, as though the heavens themselves strained under a burden they could not hold. A storm brewed on the horizon, lightning flashing faintly beyond the hills. Kweku lay awake, heart pounding. He could not ignore the pull any longer. With Amma and Abony at his side, he crept once more to the courtyard where the sacred drum stood. The moon was hidden, but the drum gleamed faintly in the flashes of lightning, its carved surface alive with shadow and light. They waited in silence, the only sound the restless wind sweeping through the trees. Then a single beat. Deep, resonant, like the heartbeat of the earth itself. The children gasped. The drum began to play. Not by hands, not by sticks, but by something unseen. A steady rhythm rose into the stormy night, weaving with the thunder, louder and louder until the whole courtyard trembled with sound. Amma clutched Kweku's arm, her voice trembling. "It's true, it's really true." The beats were furious, insistent, no longer warning but commanding. Kweku's eyes widened as he realized what it was saying. The symbols formed faster now, words pounding into his skull. He could hardly keep up, but the message was unmistakable. The river will run dry. The village will thirst. Unless. The last beat crashed like a drum of war. Then silence. The storm broke. Rain poured down in heavy sheets, but instead of relief, the villagers who rushed to their doors felt only dread. For in the courtyard, they too had heard the drum's terrible cry. And in that moment, no one could deny it anymore, the sacred drum had spoken. And its warning had only just begun. The whispers had grown into a roar. The boy who listened now carried a truth too heavy for his small shoulders. But truth, once spoken, cannot be silenced. And the wind itself seemed to carry the drum's words into every home of Oquenya. The river will run dry. And when rivers vanish, what follows? The spirits alone knew.